They were supposed to check out by noon. 3 campers, registered under one name, Cooper Landon, headed up Ash Bluff Trail 2 days ago with an oversized tent, light gear, and an attitude like nothing in the world could touch them. I watched them go myself. The tallest kid flipped me a lazy salute. They didn't come back. That part didn't bother me. People stretch their hikes all the time. What bothered me was the blood on the trail. I parked my service vehicle near the trailhead and radioed in. Static. No surprise. Signal was dogshit out here. Just trees, hills, and the low drone of wind. The kind of place where you heard yourself breathing louder than anything else. I adjusted my hat, locked the truck, and hiked in. About 2 miles up, something was wrong. The birds had stopped. The squirrels. The wind, too. That eerie, unnatural silence that makes your neck sweat. I unlatched the snap on my sidearm. I'd only had to draw it once in 10 years. A moose, wrong season, wrong attitude. But now I had that same pressure in my spine. Something close. The tent came into view like a crime scene someone forgot to clean up. Canvas shredded outward, not in. Poles bent like they'd been yanked from the inside. Packs still inside. One had been clawed open, blood soaked through the mesh like a sponge. I circled the site. No signs of a bear. No drag marks. No screams echoing in the woods. But there were footprints. Bare, human, leading into the trees, and not away. I followed the footprints. Shouldn't have, but I did. That's the job. When something doesn't sit right, you check it. And these? They weren't right at all. No shoes, just deep smeared impressions in the dirt, half filled with pine needles. Toes spread too wide, heel marks shallow, like whoever made them wasn't walking, more like dragging. I followed them for about 40 minutes, deeper into Ash Bluff than most tourists ever go. The sky filtered through the canopy in gray smudges. My boots cracked through moss and brittle sticks, but the woods stayed silent. No echo, no birds. Not even the hum of insects. I found Cooper by the creek. At least I thought it was him. He was standing knee-deep in the water, soaked to the waist, shirtless, pale. His skin looked like it had been left in the sun too long, blistered, sagging. He was staring upstream, not moving, not even shivering. "Cooper?" I called, hand hovering over my sidearm. He didn't answer, just turned, slow, like the movement confused his own joints. His face, Jesus. His mouth hung slack. His eyes had gone cloudy white, rimmed with red. Blood and mucus crusted across one cheek. He had a long gash across his torso, but it wasn't bleeding, just open, flesh peeled apart like wet bark. Then he screamed, but not like a person, not even like an animal. It was all wrong. No fear, no pain, just raw, shrieking hunger, like the sound of something that wasn't supposed to exist. He charged. I drew and fired. The first shot hit his shoulder and did nothing. The second clipped his thigh. He stumbled, but didn't fall. I was backing up, yelling warnings that he didn't hear, didn't care about. The third shot hit him center mass. That slowed him, but not enough. He lunged. I fired again. This time, straight into his face. He dropped. Body hit the rocks like a sack of meat. I stared down, heart jackhammering. arms trembling. His eyes were still open, still white, still moving, just slower now. I emptied the rest of the clip into his head and sat down hard against a tree. My radio buzzed, just static. Then a voice, my supervisor. Echo 3, do you copy? We just got a call from the trailhead station. Someone reported seeing 3 people tearing a buck apart with their hands. I couldn't speak because I could still hear movement behind me, the same dragging, crunching footfalls. Cooper hadn't been alone. I ran. Didn't check where, didn't care, just moved. The footsteps were closing in behind me, multiple now, 4, maybe 5. Branches snapped in quick bursts. They weren't stalking me. They were chasing me like a pack. I reloaded while I ran, thumbed each round into the mag with shaking fingers. The damn gun felt too light, like I'd barely hurt Cooper at all. I could still feel his eyes twitching under the muzzle flash. I reached the old maintenance shack near Bear Ridge, mostly used for winter gear and storing bear traps nobody checked anymore. The door was half rotted, but I forced it shut and wedged a shovel handle through the latch. Darkness swallowed the inside, just oil cans, cobwebs, and the stench of mildew. Then the thud came, right outside the door. I raised the pistol, breath locked in my chest. Another thud, fingernails, scratching, a wet, dragging sound across the wood. Then silence. I stayed in that shack until the light dimmed to nothing. Minutes? Hours? I don't know. When I finally cracked the door, they were gone. But the smell was still there. Rot, blood, something else like wet rust and bile. That's when I saw the crate. Buried halfway in the dirt behind the shack, under a tarp I knew for a fact wasn't there last week. It was black, stamped with bright white text. ViraClean Solutions, property of Federal Biohazard Division. I pried it open with a crowbar. Inside, a military-grade fire axe. 3 sealed MREs. Flares. A small black device marked Z Locator Alpha Test Unit. I powered it on. It beeped. Slow at first, then faster. Whatever it began detecting, it was coming closer. I grabbed the axe and ran. Again. There's a ravine past Bear Ridge. Used to be a fire break years ago. That's where I made my stand. I cracked a flare, tossed it in the dead brush, and doused it with gas from a maintenance can. Waited with the locator beeping louder and louder in my pocket. I could hear them coming, moaning, shuffling, some crawling, others sprinting. I lit the fire. The forest screamed in light. Silhouettes lurched into the blaze, arms flailing, eyes boiling, flesh splitting open from the heat. I stood behind the fire line and swung until my arms went numb. The axe sank into skulls like splitting old wood. Blood sprayed across the trees. Teeth clattered on the dirt. And then it was quiet again, except the locator. Still clicking, still fast. It's morning now. I'm sitting at the edge of a cliff. My legs are cut, my face is burned, and I'm down to 2 bullets and a bloody axe. The fire didn't stop them, just slowed them. Below me, the smoke clears, and I see them. Hundreds, not walking toward the nearest road, not scattering like animals. They're moving uphill, right toward me, and half buried in the brush near the tree line. Another ViraClean crate. I don't know what the hell's going on, but I think I was sent here for a reason. And I think someone knew this would happen. If you're still breathing, go ahead and like the video. Subscribe if you dare. There are plenty more nightmares waiting for you. And whatever you do, don't forget to ring the bell. It's the only way you'll hear the warnings in time.